Singles make up the majority of the U.S. adult population. According to U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data, close to 125 million Americans over the age of 16, or just over half of all adults, identified as single in 2014. Now, of course, all these singles won't be spending the holidays alone, but chances are at least a few million of them will. So how to cope with being on your own this time of year? Joining us now to discuss is New York City-based psychologist Dr. Jephtha Tausig. Dr. Jeff, if I may call you that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. You say this time of year, you never take the holidays because it is one of your busiest times, correct?
It certainly can be. The holidays can be stressful for a number of people. They can also be a lot of fun, too.
Sure. And you see stress not just in people that are alone for the holidays, but people that have lots of family around them as well, right?
Yes, there's an awful lot going on, I think, for all of us.
It's a lot to process for sure. Now, let's say you are alone for the holidays. What are some of the questions you should ask yourself to help yourself get through it? And also, can you allow yourself the indulgence of being sad about it?
I think you can. I think it's a balancing act. You definitely want to acknowledge your feelings, and you'd like to be honest with yourself about them. Honest with how you're feeling, and also honest about what's important to you during this season.
So what are some questions you should ask yourself to determine what's important to you?
Well, what are some of the things that have meant a lot to you in previous holidays? Is it food? Is it maybe some of the songs? Is it getting together with family, friends, neighbors, certain activities, certain events? Try to take an inventory and figure out what's been most meaningful.
Now, is there any danger, though, in getting too nostalgic and trying to replicate too precisely some of our memories?
That's a very good point. You don't want to try to recreate something from the past, and you also don't want to try to set yourself up with the idea of, I must make this the best holiday season ever.
Right. So what are some activities that you would suggest for someone alone on the holidays?
Well, once you've figured out what's important to you, try to decide how or whether you'd like to recreate some of that for yourself. If it's about food, maybe you'd like to make or bake certain things to share with neighbors or friends. It might be about religious observances. Maybe you'd like to attend some of those or invite someone to go with you. It may also be about certain activities, attending menorah lightings, tree lightings, whatever really means something to you.
What about volunteering? Can this be an especially good time of the year to volunteer?
Absolutely. I think volunteering is important because it reminds us that we can be kind and generous, although with our time and efforts primarily, to our fellow human beings. And whether it's a nursing home or a hospital, a local food pantry, maybe a community soup kitchen or a school, you certainly can be very valuable to the people that are involved in those efforts.
And I would imagine that makes us feel linked to a larger community as well.
Absolutely. And you also are going to be making wonderful memories. And you may even be starting a new tradition for yourself.
Now, I like the idea that we can indulge ourselves. We shouldn't feel guilty about that at the holidays, correct?
Not at all. I think it's very good to treat yourself. And that may mean everything from booking a massage, maybe some shopping. Maybe you want to treat yourself to a trip. This could even be a day trip to some place you've always wanted to check out, but you haven't had the opportunity to see yet.
So be nice to yourself, treat yourself to something, and perhaps create some new traditions.
Yes, think outside the box. Try to get involved. Try to do some new things and challenge yourself a little bit. And I think you'll end up with a wonderful holiday season.
That sounds lovely, Dr. Jeff. Thank you so much for all that great advice.
My pleasure. Lovely to be here.